Oh man, look at this. That ain't good. There's no way this is gonna sound right. A few months back, I posted a video about prefab boxes. What to look for, what to avoid. So I decided to order a cheap prefab box off Amazon just to see how bad it actually is. Let's unbox it and give it a look. The first thing I noticed is that the box had no packing material. I'm not sure if that's normal, but this thing is made out of MDF. If you drop it on a corner, it's gonna mess up the box. If you've ordered prefab boxes online, drop me a comment and let me know if this is normal. At first glance, it looks pretty nice. It seems well put together. There aren't any big gaps or seams in the carpet. And it has what appears to be a really nice wire terminal. It's pretty big, looks to be about a 4-inch terminal, so it's easy to get your fingers in there to connect the wires. But it is made out of thin plastic. There are a couple of things that make this a bad box. First, it's made out of 5/8 inch MDF. As you can see here at the port, this stuff is pretty easy to bend. I've built several slot ported enclosures and I've never had one bend this much here at the port. Here is my Tangband W6 build. This was made out of 1/2 inch plywood and it does have some flex at the port opening, but this box was made for a little 6.5 that will never see more than 100 watts, and it's got a ton of internal bracing. This 5/8 material is just too thin for a 12-inch subwoofer enclosure. Let's grab a speed square and verify that this is indeed 5/8 inch material. It looks to be more like a 1/2 inch here on the port. I think that's because there's a small rabbet on the inside of the port to make it easier to stick the carpet down. The port wall appears to be exactly 5/8 of an inch, as is the baffle. The port opening is 2 inches by 12 inches, and the cat doesn't approve. She wants me to throw away this cheap prefab box and build a real box. The port looks to be about 13 inches long. So we can use those port dimensions along with the interior airspace to figure out the tuning frequency of this enclosure. I've got this fancy digital tape measure that automatically adds the length of the tape measure itself to the measurement. This makes it a lot easier to measure the inside of an enclosure. I'll give you a link to one down in the description. Now that I've got those measurements, I can do a little bit of math and I find this thing is just over 1.5 cubic feet of internal airspace. The specs online said it was 1.6 cubic feet. So I'm gonna plug that stuff into my box tuning spreadsheet and I get a tuning frequency of just below 50 Hertz, which is way too high. If you'd like a copy of this spreadsheet, it's available as a digital download for my patrons over on Patreon. That's just one of the many benefits that you get when you support my channel on Patreon, like these guys right up here do. And hey, I need to give a special shout out to my newest patrons, John, Visor, Edward, and Jay. Hey guys, thanks for joining the team. Off camera, I dropped a Kicker Comp R into the enclosure. And now I'm gonna grab my DATs and verify that tuning frequency. According to the DATs, this thing's tuned to 40 Hertz. I'm not sure why I'm getting such a drastic result between DATs and my calculations. And when I modeled it in WinISD gave me a number closer to mine. I'll figure all that out later, but for now I've got a more important question to answer.
Hey Justin, we've all got to know, do it bump dough?
Hey Derek, thanks for asking. Let's put it in a car and find out. But what car should I put it in?
He has a van.
I don't have an amplifier in the van, so I'm just gonna throw it on the back seat of my truck. Let's play some YouTube approved music and see how it sounds. The first thing I noticed is that it's a lot louder than my current setup. I expected that because this is a 12 and my current setup is a 10, and this box right here is tuned a whole lot higher than my typical setup. When you tune the box high, you give up low frequency extension in exchange for SPL. So if you're shooting for cheap and loud and you don't care what it sounds like, this box might be the right box for you. As far as the sound, it's not great, but it's a lot better than I expected. The bass guitar in the intro to Hotel California is muddy, but the bongos sounded great. Time Stretch by Bass Nectar hit hard and was really loud. If that's the kind of music you like, you might enjoy this setup. But most pop, rock, and country was booming, and I didn't enjoy the sound. I'm pretty sure this kicker subwoofer will sound a whole lot better in a properly designed enclosure. If you want to see that, hit the subscribe button right here so you don't miss the next video. And in the meantime, check out these videos right over here, and I'll see you on the next adventure.